They say that hard times create strong men. If that is true, then my brother Trunks was destined to be the strongest of us all. He wasn't born into a world of peace or sunlight. He didn't have a crib, he had a cold, damp bunker. He didn't have lullabies, he had the constant rhythmic sound of explosions echoing in the distance and the smell of smoke in the air. I remember the first time I really looked at him. He was just a boy barely reaching my waist, but his eyes were already filled with the exhaustion of a veteran. I had been fighting alone for years. After my father, Goku, died from that heart virus, and the rest of the Z fighters were slaughtered like they were nothing. I was the last Saiyan left, and I was failing every single day to protect what was left of humanity. But then there was Trunks. I took him under my wing not just because he was Vegeta's son, but because he was the only spark of hope we had left. I remember our training sessions in the ruins of what used to be great cities. He was so eager, so desperate to prove himself, and yet so gentle. He carried the weight of a dead civilization on his shoulders before he could even read. He wanted to save everyone. He wanted to be a hero like the legends his mother Bulma told him about every night to help him sleep. But heroism in our timeline always comes with a heavy price. I tried to shield him from it as long as I could. I even lost my arm just to keep him safe during one of our encounters with the androids. I wanted him to be the one who survived no matter what happened to me. That rainy afternoon, I knew my time was up. I saw the androids coming and I knew I couldn't beat them both with one arm. I knocked him unconscious so he wouldn't follow me to my death. I wanted his memory of me to be a living teacher, not a fallen corpse. I remember watching from the other world as he found me. I hate that he had to see me like that, lying face down in the mud of a city that had already lost its soul. But that agony was the key. His screams tore through the storm, and for the first time his hair turned gold. He finally became a Super Saiyan. But even that legendary power wasn't enough to kill 17 and 18. They were monsters of infinite energy, and he was just one boy trying to hold back the tide with a sword. So he did the unthinkable. He broke the laws of time itself. He climbed into a machine his mother built out of scraps and hope, and he traveled 20 years into the past. Imagine the culture shock he felt. A boy raised in a graveyard, suddenly standing in a world where the sun actually felt warm, where the cities were standing, and where his family was still alive. The first thing he did was erase Frieza from existence. It was a message to the past that the era of monsters was over. But then came the hard part. He had to meet Vegeta. He didn't find the kingly hero he had imagined. He found a man consumed by bitter pride, a cold heart, and a selfish obsession with power. Yet Trunks never wavered. He fought beside the legends of the past, watching my father Goku struggle with the virus and watching the Z fighters